je dave svoja izložba. Michael je ima posjeteno Avstralija nekoliko pati, a među svojite posjeti той je dosta zaangažiran so izložbi niz svetот, Kanada i Amerika, Germanija, Francija i mnogo drugi. Danes našиот разговор со Майкл е на англиски јазик, бидејќи, како што вели Майкл, иако првиот јазик му беше македонскиот, тој сепак го има изгубено својот мајчин јазик.
At home on my own, and you know.
Michael Close, welcome back to Australia.
Thank you.
Michael, it's been about 4 years since you last visited Melbourne. Could you tell us what's been happening to you as an artist based in Canada, but certainly extensively exhibiting throughout the rest of the world?
Well, I've been doing my own artwork. I've had shows recently in the Republic of Macedonia. As a matter of fact, those shows are going right across Macedonia, and I think the next one is going to be opening in Bitola in a couple of weeks. So I've got those things happening. I've got things happening in the States and Canada as well, and in other parts of Europe. I also work in the area of scenographics for film and TV, and I do what is called production design, or more commonly known as art direction. And I just finished the film just before I left last week to come out to the South Pacific.
Michael, how do you see yourself in terms of your Macedonian heritage?
Well, I'm greatly affected by my Macedonian upbringing, and although I was born in Canada, I was greatly influenced by the home environment. For example, when I went to school for the first time, I couldn't speak English. I could only speak Macedonian. And I was born there, and it was an obvious problem. But things like that have affected my whole life. You carry it with you as long as you live, I think, those first early years.
Is your work linked to your Macedonian background in any way?
I think it is. I think that the use of color and form are derived from my experiences as a kid living in a Macedonian environment. I'm interested in the history of Macedonia. I think that's had an effect on the way I work. Just watching as far as work itself, watching how other Macedonians in Canada conduct themselves, I've been affected. I think that we're generally a very hard-working people, and I think that as an artist, I have to be disciplined in that way as well.
Was there ever any need for you to explore your roots through your work, seeing that you were born in Canada?
Yes,
it just came about naturally.
Yeah, I think it sort of developed that way. If one wants to develop as an individual, I think it's important to reflect over one's experiences, to look at one's heritage, and if one understands these things, then it makes one a better person, and I think a better artist.
You quoted an example earlier about the three-legged stool.
Yes. It was actually a table I designed in, it was junior high school, and it had a circular top, but it had three legs. And everybody else was designing tables with four legs. So they were looking at me like, this guy's sort of, strange. But recently in Macedonia, I saw a similar type of table. And actually, they're quite common there.
Sorry.
I think that the basic philosophy underlying my life, which affects my idea about art, is that the objective is to live a happy life, and that by being an artist or whatever profession or whatever area of work or interest you have that you do, that it helps one live a happier life. And if I wasn't happier by doing art, I wouldn't be doing it. And there's also another area which is, I think, very important for me now, and it's the idea of art freeing the individual. Freedom seems to be the idea now that's most important when I think specifically of art. If someone says to me when they're looking at my artwork, you know, Mike, when I look at that work of yours, it makes me feel free, then I would take that as the highest compliment that you could give in regards to my work. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, it's beautiful doesn't have as much weight as it frees me. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that makes too much sense, but that's how I feel.
Well, on the issue of freedom, I guess a couple of years ago you staged your own form of protest relating to the Macedonian issue. Could you tell us a bit more about that?
A couple of years ago I did about 2,000 miniature artworks using the triangular form which symbolized Macedonia, and the face which put a human element to the situation of Macedonia, of the problem of recognition. And we also, my wife and I, prepared letters and mailed these to various politicians, the artwork and the letter to various politicians around the world, including the members of the Australian, New Zealand, and Canadian parliaments, the Assemblée Nationale in Paris, the United Nations, the U.S. Senate. And we had a very positive response. Mm-hmm. I think that probably for me the most important one personally was the response from John Glenn, the U.S. Senator and former astronaut. He seemed to be very positive about what I had said in the letter, and was as concerned about the situation in the Balkans as I was. And I think that the U.S. Senate, I think that there are many people and many politicians in the U.S. that are sympathetic, although there are obvious problems there with the opposition. The reason I'm here now is because I'm in transit to the Solomon Islands, where I'm going to be having an exhibition at the old government house, where they want to make that into a national gallery. So I'll be like the first to show in the National Gallery, and I've taken work with me, and I thought that since I'm in the area that it might be an idea to exhibit some of the pieces, and that's basically how it came about. Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason why your stay here is so brief.
Yes, we'll be here for about a week or thereabouts, and then we'll go on to the Solomons for about a month.
Right. And when do you next plan to visit Australia?
As soon as possible. Mm-hmm. I enjoy visiting Australia. I think it's a beautiful place, and I like the people. It's my 4th time, and I love coming back.
Michael, thank you very much. All the best with the exhibitions, and we hope to see you very soon.
Thank you, Margarita.
Michael Close zajedno со својата сопруга по повод состојбата околу признавањето на Република Македонија испрати многобројни писма до политичари низ целиот свет, вклучувајќи триаголник како символ на деловите на македонската земја, при што добија позитивен одзив од повеќето од нив. Майкл посебно го истакнува случајот и одговорот на политичарот и поранешен астронаут, кој покажа голема чувствителност кон македонското прашање. Майкл Клоуз денес одржува еднодневна изложба во библиотеката во Томастон во Мелбурн, а потоа заминува за островите Соломон. Филозофијата на неговата работа е слободата. Тој верува дека уметноста штом ослободува, тогаш е успешна во својата цел. Слушавте разговор на англиски јазик со Майкл Клоуз, канадски уметник од македонско потекло.